Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I like to discuss the way Kemi Badenoch seems to be listing policies almost designed to mean the Conservatives never win another election again. Not just an end to maternity pay, but minimum wage and even calling into question free access to the NHS. I'm now torn between two views. Is she actually just incredibly naive, or is she trying to lose the contest now because she knows that whoever wins is not going to ever be Prime Minister? But first, for daily political commentary, please click the subscribe button so you don't miss out. So it began when Badenoch said that maternity pay should not exist. She tried to say that people had more babies before it was introduced. Yeah, that's because you have to go back so far that infant mortality was high, so people had to have more to stand a chance of some reaching adulthood. Contraception was less effective, and crucially, this was a time when people were used to managing the household budget on a single full-time wage. None of these things really applies now. And even most Conservatives understand that applying a financial penalty on having children would result in an even lower birth rate and, if anything, an even lower vote rate. There was a fairly robust backlash to this policy idea from within the party, including the other leadership candidates. They all went, "Are you mad?" Now, at this point, you might have thought that Badenoch was just firing off what she thought sounded like Conservative-type policies to ingratiate herself, but she misfired because she doesn't really understand the rules of the game. She doesn't realise that some of these policies might, you get Conservatives within the Conservative Party go, yeah, but you're not supposed to say them in public. Having messed up, she'd probably just stick to these policies which are tried and tested to work on the party membership, you would think. But no, she actually doubled down on the crazy. So now she's saying that the minimum wage should be scrapped. And she's suggesting that, maybe in the future we'll be ready to get people to pay to use the NHS. Of course, as we already pay in the form of taxes, what she actually means is pay twice. The idea of scrapping the minimum wage, obviously that's quite telling. It's like I keep saying, the Tories are not the party of business, they are the party of bad business. She claims minimum wage is holding businesses back. No, because most businesses don't pay the minimum wage, they pay above it. It's only the bad ones. When the minimum wage was introduced by Labour, our economy flourished. The Tories argued strongly against it, but they were wrong as soon as it was introduced and everything was brilliant and everything they said would go wrong didn't go wrong. So when they returned to power, there was no hint that they would try to remove it because they had no argument against it anymore. I mean, it's still too low, of course, as evidenced by the fact that you have some full-time workers who need benefits to top up their pay in order to live. But the idea of scrapping it altogether, that is a political non-starter. As for charging to use the NHS, now, yes, the Tories have been actively trying to move to this position for a while. They didn't quite get there, but it's supposed to be done on the quiet. And Badenoch is very short-sighted if she thinks she can even hint at a policy like this on the basis for a future election strategy. She may imagine with the broken NHS her party's left us that it's not far off, we could just about make this case in a few more years. But, come the next election, if Labour have significantly improved things, as they must, and all without charging for services, and loudly saying that they will never charge for services at point of use, then what is currently still a weak argument with the public will dissolve even more. All sounds incredibly naive. I've said before of Kemi Badenoch, she strikes me as being as crazy as Truss and as bad at politics as Sunak. And this sounds like another case of it. These are the sorts of policies the Tories like to enact, sure, yes, but not be open about. The last time the Tories were out of power for a while, Theresa May coined the term the nasty party to describe how the Conservatives were seen as cruel. And other senior Conservatives agreed with her, including David Cameron, of course. They set about adopting policies that seemed more in tune with what the public wanted, including on social and environmental issues. They were lies, of course. It was a completely different tune once they won power, but they understood that they had to present a more caring image to the public in order to be taken seriously again. Sod that, Badenoch seems to be saying. Let's go full nasty party and hold the line until the voters get so sick of Labour that they'll let us in no matter what our policies are. The fact that she said this means, she thinks the public will actually change its mind on free at point of healthcare on the NHS and that they'll actually want to pay for it. It's just so far out there. And let's say she did believe it, that one day in the far future this may happen. you wouldn't talk about it now when the public definitely don't agree, because it's a bit of a hint that it's a direction you want to move in. It's a very strong hint, in fact, that you want to move in a different direction to the public on a really important issue to the public. And the talk of ending maternity pay, minimum wage in particular, is so unthinkable politically that I'm actually starting to wonder if Badenoch isn't trying to lose this leadership contest. Because let's imagine for one moment that she isn't a complete idiot, right? She was elevated spectacularly at the 2022 leadership contest by Michael Gove for whatever reason. Most of the rest of us didn't really know who she was much. We'd seen her, talking nonsense as an equalities minister, but by and large, she wasn't a big figure, right? She now is. She's sort of well known. She's now within the party seen as a credible potential leader for the party. Maybe now, maybe for the future. But then you'd think, but who'd want to be leader of the Conservatives right now? All Labour have to do is deliver what they're promising, and they claim they'll deliver more. And the Tories have no chance of returning to the power at the next election. Doesn't matter how fancy the promises sound. You could get a really good Tory leader in, very charismatic, got the right sounding policies. If Labour are actually delivering, they'll remember what the Tories did over 14 years, and Labour will remind them. And then people will go, well, things are better now. Do we really want to risk it? No. So the winner of this leadership contest, if they have any serious hope to become Prime Minister after the next election, part of that plan is that Labour fail. Well, they have no agency over that. So realistically, the winner of this leadership contest is probably just going to be the leader of the opposition for a few years, which is a pretty crap job, as you have to work just as hard as the most senior government ministers, only you got no power to actually do anything. But obviously, Badenoch had to stand in the leadership contest in order to show ambition. She couldn't set back. She couldn't say, oh, no, sorry, the party's unrescuable at this point. I'll let someone else do the dirty bit, then I'll jump in a few years' time. Obviously, you can't say that. So then you start to think, OK, so maybe she wants to lose so she doesn't have to take the poison chalice and keep herself available for the leadership contest to come after the next election. Although that also assumes that the actual winner makes it to the next election, which seems doubtful. Or maybe Badenoch really is as out of touch as she appears, in which case, if she does win the leadership contest, it's going to be an entertaining time. Not for Conservatives, though. I look forward to her many meltdowns at the dispatch box. I mean, the Conservatives already have a major problem in that most of her support is from pension-aged voters, or close to it, certainly in their 60s and beyond. The absolute collapse in Tory support amongst those of working age is not going to be helped by promising them lower incomes and higher healthcare costs, is it? I mean, if the Conservatives elect her as leader, I would imagine that would get the biggest cheer from Labour HQ, I think. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can join for memberships. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.